6.2 is on solving systems of equations using substitution. So in addition to doing that, you also learn to solve real-world problems involving systems of equations by using substitution. So in Spanish, substitution is substitución, or something like that. Anyway, okay, so the steps that we want to follow in order to solve a system by substitution. Step 1, when necessary, solve at least one equation for one variable. So we want to get one equation so that we have one of the variables by itself. Step 2 is substitute the resulting expression from step 1 into the other equation to replace the variable, and then solve the equation. And then step 3, substitute the value from step 2 into the other equation and solve for the other variable. Write the solution as an ordered pair. So these words might not mean anything to you yet, but they will. So what we want to do is with one of our equations, step 1 is to get the variable by itself. If we're looking at equation 1 here, I'm going to label this one. This is equation 1 and equation 2. Equation 1 already has y by itself. So y is equal to this thing. So in my other equation, if this is what y is, I can take it and replace it. I could replace the other y in the other equation. So I would have 2x plus, now instead of y, since this thing is y, I'm going to put that, negative 4x plus 12 equals 2. So all I did is I took out that y and replaced it with what y is according to the other equation. So now I can combine like terms, so 2x and negative 4x makes negative 2x plus 12 equals 2. Solving for x, I'm going to get negative 2x equals negative 10, so then x is going to be 5. So I found 5 is x. I also need to know what y is. So this was step 2. Step 1 was to get it by itself, which was already done. Step 2 was to find one variable. That was x equals 5. And step 3 is to go back and take this and put it into my other equation to figure out what y is. So I have an equation for y. Y is negative 4x plus 12. So now I can use what I know x is. X is 5, so I can put that in for x to solve for y. So I get negative 20 plus 12 is what y is, so y is going to be negative 8. So step 3, after you figure out x and y, you're just going to write them as an ordered pair. So 5, negative 8 is the solution. So if I were to take 5 and negative 8 and plug it in for x and y into both of these equations, it will work for both. Okay, so same thing with this one. I want to get one variable by itself. So looking at this one, that x is going to be the easiest to isolate because it doesn't have a coefficient. So to do that, I'm going to add 2y to both sides. So I'm going to get x equals 2y minus 3. So now I have x by itself. So from this equation, I'm going to take it, what x is, and put it in for x into the other equation. So I'm going to have 3 now instead of x, so this is 3 times x, but x is this whole thing. So make sure you're putting the whole value of x inside of parentheses. It's 3 times the whole value of x. And then you have plus 5y equals 24. Okay, so distribute here. So we're going to get 6y minus 9 plus 5y equals 24. I want to combine annulate terms. So I have 5y and 6y makes 11y minus 9 equals 24. I'm going to add 9. So I get 11y equals 33. So then y is 3. So that's step 1 and 2. Step 3 is to take that value that you got and put it back into the original equation so you can find the other variable. So since I already have x by itself, that's what I'm looking for. So x is going to be 2 times 3 minus 3, putting in that 3 for y. So 6 minus 3 is x, so x is 3. And then last step, just write it as an ordered pair, x comma y. So 3, 3 is my solution to this system of equations. Okay, following the same procedure, we want to get one of our variables by itself. So I would use equation 2 in this one and either do x or y. It doesn't really make a difference. So if I want to get x by itself, I'm going to subtract y from both sides. So this equation is going to become x equals negative y minus 2. So this is what I'm putting in for x, because that's what x is. X is equal to this. So I'm going to have 2 times negative y minus 2 plus 2y equals 8 is what equation 1 becomes. So I'm going to distribute, so negative 2y minus 4 plus 2y equals 8. So when I do this, if I combine my like terms, I have negative 2y and positive 2y. They cancel each other out. So what I get is negative 4 equals 8. If you get down to a thing that is not a true statement, that means that there is no solution. If you had done this and got down to something that says 8 equals 8, that would be infinitely many solutions. So not true, no solution. True, infinitely many. Okay. All right, last one. A nature center charges $35.25 for a yearly membership and $6.25 for a single admission. Last year, it sold a combined total of 50 yearly memberships and single admissions for $660.50. How many memberships and how many single admissions were sold? Okay, so we'll say X is the number of yearly memberships, and we'll say Y is the number of single admission. Okay, so the total cost that it would be is $35.25 per year membership, so times X, and then it's $6.25 per single admission. So we're going to call that Y. And that total, when they did this, they made a total of $660.50. And they sold a total of 50 memberships, or 50 tickets. So it's going to be X, the yearly amount, plus the Y amount, the single amount, and that's going to give us 50. So now we have a system of equations. And I want to solve for one of my variables. So this, I think, would be easiest with the bottom equation to get either x or y by itself. So I'm going to say this equation down here is the same thing as x equals negative y plus 50, or 50 minus y. So I'm going to take that equation, and I'm going to put it in for x up here. So I'm going to have 35.25 times negative y plus 50 plus 625y equals 660.50. So here, first thing I need to do is distribute. So I'm going to get negative 35.25y plus 35.25 times 50 is 1,762.5 plus 6.25y equals 660.50. So from here, I am going to simplify by combining like terms. So negative 35.25 and 6.25 gives me 29, negative 29y plus 162.5 equals 660.50. So I'm going to subtract 1,762.5 from both sides. So 660.5 minus 1,762.5 gives me negative 1,102 equals negative 29y. So then y, by dividing both sides by 29, I'm going to get y equals 38. Okay, so I have y, but I also need to know what x is. So I'm going to go back to this equation here, or I can plug it right in here. So x is going to be equal to negative 38 plus 50. So x is going to be 12. So my final answer is 12 yearly and 38 single admissions through the year, month, or whatever time frame we're looking at. Last week. Okay. Anyways, and that is the end of the section.